Hi there, this is Michael Hausam. Thank you for watching and coming to Fix My Realtor Live. So if you want to sell your house for more, you should require that offers be presented to you as a seller in person. So there are 3 reasons that you should do this, and I'm going to tell you what they are. And I'm also going to tell you how to do them. Oh, hi there, my name is Michael Hausam. I'm an active real estate broker in Southern California. I first got into the real estate business right out of school 35 years ago. And I've been a top national agent for years. But what I'm doing here with Fix My Realtor is totally different. It's totally unique and different. The focus of Fix My Realtor is on you, the home buyer and the home seller, to help you control your own real estate journey and get pro-level results regardless of the realtor you hire, or even if you don't hire one at all. So with Fix My Realtor, there is no pitch to be your agent. This is not an angle for me to get real estate clients to hire me as their broker. In that way, I'm like the only broker on earth that isn't on social media or YouTube trying to get clients to hire me to represent their buying or selling a house. So let's talk about how you can get more money for your house. And as for 99.999% of home sellers, that is their number one goal and desired outcome, of course. So the Fix My Realtor recipe for home sellers, it includes 8 unique ingredients. And these unique ingredients are necessary if you want to get the highest possible sales price. And these ingredients, what I'm going to talk to you about here, they're not anything that you're going to see here on YouTube, on Instagram, or anywhere else. You're not going to hear about this recipe from any realtor in your neighborhood either. So it's a recipe, and just like any recipe, if you don't use all the ingredients and you don't use them all in the correct amounts and at the right time, you're going to fail. Now, the big difference with messing up the home selling recipe is that unlike with cookies, which if you screw them up, you just throw them away, but the amount of money that you stand to lose on a home sale if you mess up the recipe, now this is tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on your marketplace. So one of my very favorite recipe ingredients is super old school, but it is unbelievably effective. And that is the presentation of offers in person. It goes totally against the grain. It's almost never used in the marketplace anymore. In fact, take a look here. Take a look at these screenshots in this PDF. All right. So if I were to pull up the first 100 listings in your area right now, all of them would say something like this, right? And this is literally screenshots right out of the MLS. Send your offers to Nicole Meyer. Send your offer to the listing agent. Please send your offers to an email address. Email your offer. Or sometimes what they'll do is they'll just have an email address and it won't say anything. Please send complete offer package in one PDF file to include, etc., etc. This is standard operating procedure. But if I were to pull up those 100 listings in my market, in your market, what I'm going to see is 100 sellers who have unknowingly made a very costly and a super harmful mistake. Now, notice this one here, okay? This is completely different, and this is the way that I think you should consider doing it. This is mine. Please do not email your offer. Contact listing agent for instructions on how to present your offer in person. Frankly, this is the way that most real estate deals used to go down way back in the day when I was still getting haircuts. In fact, when an agent my age or older sees that comment there in the MLS, they always say to me, "Oh my God, in person? Like the way we used to do it?" That was the best. I wish things were still done this way. That literally happens every single time. Think about this. In almost any other business or negotiating circumstance, those are always done face to face. Some fella's trying to sell a handful of copiers. He's going to fly all the way across the country to negotiate that deal. But not for one of the biggest transactions of someone's life. They'll just trade emails on a phone with a PDF attached, and it's costing them serious money. So let me just stop real quickly and answer a question that might be occurring to you. Why are you talking directly to me as a home buyer or home seller about this and not talking to realtors about being better at their business? That's actually a great question. And the reason I'm talking directly to you is because the vast majority of realtors, they don't give a shit about this topic at all. 99% of realtors and real estate coaches and real estate offices and real estate brokerages and the corporations that own them, they are not interested in improving themselves so they can deliver better results for their clients. As I mentioned earlier, the real estate industry has two solitary focuses: getting your signature on a contract and then getting a quick commission. That is it. All these massive mergers that you've heard about, Compass just spent $1.6 billion to buy a collection of brokerages, including mine. Real just spent $880 million to buy Remax. That is all 100% about getting you to sign a contract and then pay them a commission. Pretty much zero time and energy is spent on anything related to getting you more money for your house or improving the processes to get your home sold. The real estate industry is absolutely broken. So this is the first point I want to make before we get to this offers in person, okay? The real estate industry it's broken. Their goal is to get your signature and your contract. That's it. The goal, signature, and commission. That's it. So what is the solution to this? How do you get the best possible results if the industry supposedly to help you isn't optimized for doing that? How do you make sure that you get the most amount of money for your house? Well, the answer to this is very simple. You have to be the one to control your own real estate journey. You're the one that has to know what to do, what not to do to avoid those costly mistakes and to take advantage of opportunities. And you've got to figure this out on your own so that you can make sure that this is done regardless of the real estate agent you hire. The solution to this is to control your own journey. That's the solution. You need to be in control. And that is the mission of Fix My Realtor, to make sure that that happens. So one of the critical pieces for how you do this as a home seller is how the offer presentation itself happens. So I'm going to tell you the 4 reasons why, as a seller, you want to have those buyers in your house presenting their offer instead of just emailing it over to your agent or to you like a robot, okay? Reason number 1 you want to do this is more money. That's a fun phrase to say. There's more money in it. There's more money to be made doing it this way. So reason number 1 is money. You want a buyer making their dollar decisions inside the home that they want. You don't want them at their house staring at their phone, watching Netflix, distracted by the 8,000 things going on, while also making a decision about how much money they're going to give you. In that context, the decision about making money is critical, and in person is how you get more of it. Because here's the thing, my opinion is that nobody knows what they're actually going to do about the price that they're going to offer or pay for a house until the very, very final moment. Literally at the very final moment, that's when they decide how much money it is. And because homes are emotional purchases, you want them making that emotional decision in the home that they hopefully have already imagined themselves living in. This is not a strip mall that we're selling with a dry cleaner and a sandwich shop and a nail salon, right? That's a return on investment calculation. You can make that decision on the back of a paper napkin because it's just numbers. This is a home and it's a totally different animal. Getting the buyer in that home that they want to purchase, that can pull on the emotional strings, and that changes the financial implications of the conversation. And this is no different than a car dealer, right? They want you in that new wonderful car after the test drive, sitting there, smelling it. It's all detailed out to perfection. That's when they want you thinking about how much monthly payment can you afford. Now, the second reason that you want to do it in person is human-to-human interaction. Humans meeting one another in person and talking to each other face-to-face is so preferable to just trading a PDF on an email. And this is reason number 2 is human interaction. Human beings live, face-to-face, it's so superior than just back and forth on an email. Let me tell you a story. Last fall, I sold a house in Costa Mesa. It was an in-person meeting. There were 2 buyers, husband and wife, and their clients. Afterwards, the buyer's agent had left. And then the husband and I are standing out in the driveway talking. You know, what does he do for a living? He's a teacher in Irvine and blah, blah, blah. We're just having a nice time. And we had already put the deal together, okay? The house was sold and we're just standing out there talking. So his wife was still in the house talking to Richard, my seller. And after a few minutes of chatting, we were like, what's going on? So we walked back into the house to check and see what was taking so long. They were both crying and literally had just finished up a hug. So Richard was, my client, Richard was emotional because his late wife was pregnant with their little daughter when they had bought that house 20 some years earlier. And then the wife, the buyer, she was 7 months pregnant. So they were standing there. He was thinking about 20 some years ago when he and Shelley had bought the house, pregnant with the daughter. She was standing there crying because she couldn't believe that her dream had come true of buying a house with a beautiful backyard for their kiddo to run around it. It was absolutely incredible. It was 3-dimensional human beings interacting with each other, a totally different circumstance than just names and initials on a DocuSign. And this happens all the time. And of course, there's other kinds of, it doesn't have to be all that emotional with the crying and the hugging. But it can be simple. Oh my God, my parents were teachers too. Or wait, you went to UT Austin and she did? So did my wife. When were you there? You know, nice Dodger hat. You know, they're not my favorite, but we can agree to equally hate the Angels, right? You know, there's a trillion possibilities for that kind of magic to happen in person. Now, reason number 3, why in-person offers are so great, and that is because they are quick and they eliminate all of the nonsense. And let me explain to you what I mean by that, okay? Let me write this here. Quick and no nonsense, okay? So it's 2 different pieces. So let's talk about eliminating the nonsense first. As a seller, you only want serious buyers, and you absolutely do not want to mess around, right? But right now, I could do up an offer on my telephone in about 90 seconds and send an offer out on a house, okay? But if I got to get out of my pajamas and I got to drive over to your house and I got to talk to you face to face, that's a completely different ballgame, okay? The buyer out there whose attitude is, you know what? Let's do this. Let's send them an offer, 20% under the list price, see what they're going to say, because you never know what's going to happen. That buyer's not going to show up in person. They're not going to waste their time doing that. So they're not wasting your time either. Or maybe it's a buyer that likes your house. They don't love your house, but they like your house. And they like it enough to send you an offer, wobbly as it might be. But if they just send you the offer, you're not going to know if they're wobbly or not, or how into it they are, until they respond to a counter, or maybe not even then. Or worse, you may not even know that they're wobbly until they cancel the deal that you signed because they just weren't into it. But that buyer, they're not going to show up in person unless they really want it. And those are the only people that you really want to talk to, the people that really want your house, okay? So what that does is it effectively eliminates the time wasters. And it also reveals the time wasters as well, okay? Because you don't want to see those offers. You don't want to deal with those people. It's a total waste of time. You only want the serious folks, okay? And then, once that in-person meeting does happen, it becomes very quick. And that is the second part of it. You've got everybody there. All of the questions can get answered immediately. Details can get ironed out. Counter offers, responses to the counter offers, discussion, everything done and finished right then and there. The meeting that I was just mentioning earlier with Richard, they ended up crying. That entire meeting took 35 minutes from the point of them showing up at the house and introducing themselves all the way through the crying and hugging and walking out. 35 minutes. It's not an email and then an acknowledgement and then a back and forth and then a counter offer and then a response and then you got to wait overnight and then tomorrow afternoon there was an emergency meeting, so we're not going to hear back till tomorrow night, but there's actually a question that came up, right? That exchange can take days. And if it's a multiple offer, it could even take longer than that. The brevity of an in-person process is so great. We got a deal, we open escrow that day or the next morning, or we don't, and everybody moves on. On Anaheim, Wednesday afternoon, okay? The two sets of buyers, their agents, the brother, plus me and my clients. There were 10 of us there in the house. And it was absolutely amazing to have an in-person multiple offer. FYI, multiple offers in person are far and away my most favorite thing in this business. I've done dozens and dozens of them. There's absolutely nothing better. Anyway, so on Tuesday night, the night before the meeting, I was explaining to one of the two agents how I do multiple offers in person, why I do multiple offers in person, because she'd never done one before and she was a little reluctant, right? She was reluctant right up until the point that I got into talking about the timeliness and how quick it goes. And then she explained to me 2 weeks earlier, those same clients had submitted, emailed, an offer on a home where there were multiple offers, okay? The back and forth and all the nonsense for that took 8 days to get to the final part. And the clients, the two that I was just meeting right there, her clients were so frustrated and irritated by it that they just walked. They didn't even respond, okay? They just bailed on the whole thing because it took so long. Now, could they have been the ones that would have paid that seller the most amount of money and had the smoothest and easiest transaction? No way to know. the way that seller and their agent handled it, which frankly is no different than the way most agents handle things, it completely ruined their chances to even find out. If after this live or watching this video, you took a poll of 100 agents in your area and you asked them if the process for putting a deal together takes way too long, it's full of too much potential shady shit and frustration, 99 or even 100 of them would say that that is one of their number one gripes in the entire business, okay? An in-person offer delivers a rapid conclusion, and that is so key. I'm going to write this here. Number two, it's a rapid conclusion. It's the solution, doing it in person. It is the solution to things dragging on forever. Now, these reasons number two and number three, they flow right into the fourth reason that you want to do an in-person offer, and that is massive goodwill. Massive goodwill is money in the bank for you as a seller. Right now, every single real estate professional knows that one of the enormous unspoken issues in our business is the number of canceled transactions. It's an epidemic across the country. It is a constant industry topic. Depending on the area, it's like 15 to 20% of signed deals cancel, okay? So you don't want to just think about selling your house and getting a contract. You also want to think a lot about actually closing the sale of the house. And those are two different things. Think about back to Richard, my story earlier about the hugging and the crying. If there were issues that had come up, repairs or negotiating items, whatever goodwill that had been formed from that initial meeting in putting together things so quickly and literally the hugs and the tears and the happiness and all of that, if something had come up, all of that would have been money in the bank account that we could have drawn on if we needed it, okay? And those other buyers that I was mentioning, that I just mentioned on Wednesday, that I met on Wednesday, they were so upset that they bailed a transaction altogether. But they just got a house on my listing, and that entire meeting with the multiple offers and all that was like 45 or 50 minutes. How do you think those folks felt waking up yesterday morning after getting that house so quickly after that horror show 2 weeks earlier? And by the way, these buyers, they came up 30 grand above the asking price to get it. So it wasn't just good for them. It was great for my clients, the sellers, either. Now, do you think these buyers now are more or less likely to make a stink about a repair issue or get upset about whatever other thing happens over the next 3 weeks? Because in real estate, things happen. Of course, they're less likely to make a stink about that. Now, contrast all of that with one that takes multiple days of emailing back and forth and mounting frustration and irritation. You know what I'm talking about? The in-person offer eliminates all of these things. And what this ends up providing for you is cancellation insurance. Oops. Cancellation insurance. That's what you get. I love that phrase, cancellation insurance. And the policy premium is just getting buyers to drive over to your house and chat with you a bit. That's the entire policy premium for cancellation insurance. So those are the four reasons. Money, human-to-human interaction, massively reducing the time it takes to put a deal together while eliminating the time wasters, and then cancellation insurance. Those are the reasons why you do it. So now let's talk about how you do it. And just like with the reasons why, there are 4 steps. And frankly, the 4 steps are very simple, okay? Frankly, all of the ingredients of the seller recipe are simple. None of it is brain surgery. None of it is rocket science. Frankly, you just need to know what they are and then just check the boxes. So step number 1 to how to do an offer in person is that you definitely want to put it in the MLS that you don't want emailed offers, but you're going to be doing them in person. You want to use the language just like I showed you right at the very beginning, okay? That's this here. Please do not email your offer. Contact listing agent for instructions on how to present your offer in person. You want to set those ground rules so you're not getting offers emailed to you. What you want is you want phone calls. And then that is actually step number 2, is that you're going to get ready. Step number 1, put in MLS email only. Step number 2 is buyer agent calls. You are definitely going to get calls about that, asking you, okay? Now, every once in a while, you might run into an agent that has done or heard of in-person offers before, then that's super easy. But newer agents or experienced agents that have never done it, they're absolutely going to want to talk about it to understand it. They're going to see the note in the MLS, and they're going to call you up, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Why? And all you have to do is you simply walk them through the reasons I explained before. Well, not all of them. You don't want to explain that you're doing it because you're going to get more money. You just walk through these reasons right here. Hey, human interaction is better. It's quick. There's no nonsense. And the whole point of this is to generate goodwill so we start escrow on the best possible footing. And there actually is a 4th reason that you want to mention when you're talking to the agent. That's this piece right here. And that is this. His clients are going to get to see him working for them, doing real estate and actually earning commission. You'll explain that to the buyer's agent. Look, you're not just going to be emailing this thing over. Your clients will be watching you work, and you will love that. In the 10 years, it's almost been 10 years that I've been doing this exclusively on my listings. And I have only had one serious buyer's agent refuse to do the offer in person. Now, there have definitely been a lot that didn't want to do it, right? As I'm talking to them. But in those cases, it was kind of revealed in the conversation that they weren't serious buyers at all, or their buyers weren't qualified, which I don't want. So that's fine. Okay, now, step 3. In the meeting itself, the first thing for you to do is you want to make everyone comfortable. That's step number 3, is you want to make everyone comfortable in the meeting. It's going to be a little awkward, right? Comfortable. Everyone's going to be a little bit nervous. They're going to be excited. So you want to quickly introduce yourself and your agent. One of the two of you need to be the master of ceremonies, okay? You're going to take 90 seconds and you're going to thank everybody for being there, quickly go over the plan, ask if there are any more questions, and then get right to business. Remember, you promised everyone that it's going to be quick. Now, if it's a multiple offer situation, the offer and the counter offers themselves are private. It is not an auction. So even though everybody's in the group together comfortable, step 4 is the offer and the counter offer, the 4th section. You get the agent and their clients to sit down with you. They take 5 minutes, summarize the financials, summarize the offer. You might have clarification questions, and that's it. You're not negotiating at this point. You're not bargaining. If it's a multiple offer, the first set of buyers and their agent sit down, have that conversation. They get up, and then the other ones come and sit down. It's all private. It's not an auction. And you just repeat that as needed. So on Wednesday, the agent, the two buyers, and the brother, they came and sat down. 5 minutes, they got up, went into the front yard. The other buyers that were in the backyard came down and did the same thing. Then you and your agent chat for a minute, and then you quickly prepare a counteroffer. You or your agent take it out to both of the parties or the other party, if it's just one. Go over quickly that counteroffer, and when they're ready, they come and sit back down and respond to it. If it's a multiple, you repeat it. And then you do it again. You issue another counteroffer. All of this is done literally within minutes, okay? And in my experience, within 2 to 3 rounds of this, at most, you will know if there's a deal or not. And if there is a deal, make sure you've got champagne there and take some pictures. If there is no deal, thank them so much and wish them luck. And literally that's it. You've just shortened all of that to a 20, 30, 40-minute at most meeting. It's a little bit longer if it's a multiple. But, and this is a warning, if it is a multiple offer situation, then the worst thing ever is going to happen. And that is you're going to have to go out, or your agent is going to have to go out. You're going to have to look somebody straight into the face in the eye, and you're going to have to tell them that they didn't get the house. And frankly, that is hard to do. With all of that pressure and everybody seeing everybody all coming down to that point, there's going to be tears. I have never had a multiple offer situation in person where somebody wasn't crying. Every single time, including Wednesday, okay? It's really hard. But remember, even in that, you're 45 or 50 minutes into it. Whereas in a normal multiple counteroffer situation, it would have taken 4 or 5 days to do that, okay? And then that's it. You now have buyers that quickly got a house, buyers that love you, a buyer's agent that is just totally blown away by how awesome it was, and you have a big, fat cancellation insurance policy. And you've also got a sale with more money in it than you otherwise would have. How beautiful is that? Now, there's 2 options for you here at this point, okay? Take this recipe ingredient and put it to use. Just doing the things that I've been telling you about here for the last, how long have we been on here? 35 minutes. The last 35 minutes of info, take it, do it. You'll be miles ahead of the competition in your marketplace. And even if you only get it mostly right, that is still going to be a win for you, okay? Or you can let me help you even more. And there's 2 ways for the next step for me to help you. Number 1 is to attend my free workshop where I'm going to show you all 8 recipe ingredients so that you can control your own real estate journey to buy or sell a house like a pro. It's a free workshop. I'm going to show you all the ingredients. The second option is to take my free 4-minute real estate readiness assessment. This readiness assessment on my website, it will instantly show you exactly where you stand and where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. You can find both of these at fixmyrealtor.com. You can see fixmyrealtor.com right there on the screen. Now, if you're not watching this live, if this is on tape delay or saved in my YouTube channel or scrolling to your feed in Facebook, popping up here in a second, there's a link that's going to come up for more information on the workshop, and then a link to the video with a bit more information on the real estate readiness assessment. Thank you so much for watching today. If you've got any questions, comment on the Facebook feed, comment on the YouTube feed, or you can also DM me on Instagram at mphouse. I appreciate you watching. Let me just check and see if I've got any other chats here real quick. Nope, not right now. All right, thanks so much for being here, you guys. Have a great afternoon and a great weekend.